What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is something you all have been waiting for, but we are finally doing a tour of all my animals slash an update on them. You guys have been waiting a very long time, but we're gonna get into it today and start off first with the 3,000-gallon saltwater pond. This is probably like the biggest masterpiece we've ever done on this channel. You guys absolutely love it, and it's probably one of my favorite things. I definitely just like for pets. So there's a lot of pets in here. So this pond is 3,000 gallons. We built it a year ago, and ever since we've just added a lot to it, a lot of fish, a lot more rocks, and we've kind of just upgraded as time went on. And we're gonna be even getting a bigger pond pretty soon here. But we have a big green moray eel. He's probably like, I don't know, one of the coolest things in this pond. Along with him, we got a bunch of sharks, from bamboo sharks to horn sharks. And then to the bigger fish, the top like 3 fish in this pond, which would be the blue and yellow cod, the emperor snapper, and the bumblebee grouper. A lot of you guys know we've rescued some of these fish, and we've grown some of them since they were a baby. Being the bumblebee grouper, we've had him since he was almost this big, and over a year and a half, he's grown to about this big. He started off in a 200-gallon, then he went to like a 1,000-gallon pond. Now we're here at 3,000 gallons, and soon we'll be getting to 6,500 gallons. So it's just going up and up. But there is a few more things in this pond. We have our stingray, we have our panther grouper, we have a whole bunch of sergeant majors, which are honestly another really cool fish in this pond just because they add a lot of life. We also have a bunch of lionfish and eels, and that's pretty much it in the saltwater pond. But I want to know, what's your favorite fish in the saltwater pond? There's a lot of things to choose from, so comment down below right now and let me know what's your favorite fish in the saltwater pond. And I almost forgot about our Niger triggerfish and our little pufferfish that we actually recently got. Probably one of the smallest fish in here, but nothing messes with him. He's always out swimming, and he has some really, really pretty colors on him. They're both doing awesome. Our pufferfish loves to hide up in those rocks there. We did build a lot more caves, so they were able to do that. You'll see him pop out of a cave. Look at Hulk right now, though. That is Hulk right there, and he is one of the biggest eels in the saltwater pond. We got like 8 different species of eels, but he right there is the biggest. Look at how pretty he is, and you can just tell how healthy and happy this eel is. I mean, look at him. And I can't forget about our starfish either. I almost did just because they're little small invertebrates. Oh, and our cleaner wrasse. There's so many things in this pond, so it's really hard to keep up with. So this room right here is probably one of my most favorite rooms in the house, and the reasoning for that is because it's filled with reptiles and fish, literally filled with it. Now this animal right here is probably one of the strangest, smartest, and coolest animals I have, and that is our octopus. Pretty rare to see him, honestly, just because he's so good at hiding, and he's very smart. When he sees a human, right back into the rock he goes. Sometimes when I'm feeding him, you'll see his little tentacles actually pop out of the hole of the rock, and he'll just grab the food and take it right back in. So, oh, there he is, right there. So dope. It's pretty rare to see him, so you guys are lucky. Now to the right of our octopus, we have our red-eye tree frogs. These guys are so unique looking, and they're probably one of the most popular tree frogs. Everybody knows red-eye tree frogs, but it's just pretty rare to actually see them in person. And these are my first time owning them, first time seeing them in person, and I absolutely love them. We're gonna take one of them out, but before we touch our tree frogs, we are gonna wet our hands just because they're pretty sensitive to like human skin and stuff. Look at how sick that is. And that's the baby one. We have a bigger one in here. She usually hides up in the trees, and I'm gonna see if I can find her. Big girl, dude. Look at how fat and healthy she is. She may, you know what? She may have tadpole babies in her. I'm not sure. If you guys can tell whether they're male or female, let me know in the comments, because I'm actually very curious. Now let's go over to our turtles. So right over here in the corner, back corner, this room is filled to its capacity, and that's one reason we're getting a warehouse. But right here we have our turtle pond. Now I do have to do a little redo on it, and you guys are probably wondering, how do you maintenance and take care of all these animals? I usually take one day and I'll just do everything. So if I see like one cage is dirty, I'll take a day and then redo all of them, clean them all out, and that kind of just allows me to do it like correctly and not have to rush through it. So that's pretty much how I maintenance everything and keep up with their cages and cleaning and all that. Now in this turtle pond, we have a whole bunch of different kinds of turtles, from yellow belly sliders to pink belly side necks to African side necks. But it's really hard to find them every now and then, and I left this bottom open, and a lot of turtles like to hide up in here. So I'm gonna see if I can pull one out to show you guys. Oh my, this is scary. Oh, I think I got, what the heck is that, dude? I think, oh, it's a yellow belly slider, but look at how big they've gotten since we put them in the pond. I think he's probably one of the biggest, and we're pretty soon gonna be setting them up a way bigger turtle pond and make it so much cooler than what they're in now. This was honestly for when they were babies. We had a lot of them grow up in here, and now that they're getting to this size, it's definitely time to give them a bigger home. If you guys want to see the whole process of us redoing the turtle pond, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right down below, just so you don't miss out on that video. Now over to one of the oldest animals I've ever owned, being my leopard geckos. Right here we have 2 leopard geckos, both female. And I've had these guys for almost, I would say 13 years now, since I was about 8 years old. They usually hang out in this cave right here. We're gonna see if they come out. Those are 2 female leopard geckos, and you can see they've tried producing eggs, but obviously there's no male in there to fertilize them. So here's one of our leopard geckos, and he's more on the tame side, but look at how cool he is. And honestly, if I had to recommend like a first lizard pet, this would be the one, or a bearded dragon, just because they're so, I mean, they're very easy to care for, they don't require much, and they're awesome to handle and like bond with you. So they eat good. They get crickets. All the reptiles get crickets every other day. They get about a dozen or 2 dozen. These guys get 2 dozen since there's 2 of them. But for like Ralph, which we're about to get over to, this guy gets about a dozen every other day. And this is one of the coolest chameleons I've ever owned in my life. Literally, I've never seen a chameleon so friendly. Look at him. Look at him right now. He just wants food 24/7. Well, is he gonna, oh, he's gonna do it. That's my finger, Ralph. Got you one, buddy. Here we go. He wants it. Boom. He'll go from like a dark brown to literally a bright green to a yellow. They're all different types of colors, but this right here is a veiled chameleon, and this is Ralph. And if you guys want to get updates all the time and not have to wait for a full YouTube video, follow me on Instagram right here popping up on the screen. I post updates all the time, all the animals, sometimes little feedings and stuff like that. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, follow me on Instagram. Now over to the mini saltwater pond. A lot of you guys know we used to have an actually micro saltwater pond, but it just didn't work out. It was always evaporating just because of how small it was. So yeah, we ended up rehoming those fish, and I would have put them in the 200-gallon community tank, but at the time it wasn't a community tank. We had a lot of predatory fish in there, so I had nowhere actually to rehome them myself. I do know the person who took them. He also took my Pac-Man frog along with my seahorses. Those animals just required a lot more time and care than I can give them. So I ended up giving them all to my buddy, who actually has a lot more time on his hands to take care of animals like that, just because, for example, the seahorses, they have to eat like 10 times a day. They don't actually have like a stomach, so you just got to keep feeding them, otherwise they'll starve. So for anyone wondering, that's where those animals went. We still have a whole bunch of animals left to tour. Now right above the saltwater pond, we have our Axolotl. This guy we've had for a very long time, and you can see he's put on so much size, it's unbelievable. This is probably one of the biggest axolotls I've ever seen. And these guys like really, really cold water, so we usually keep this water pretty cold. He's the only thing in this aquarium, and it's 30 gallons, so he has plenty of room to grow the rest of his life. But that right there is our Axolotl. Very strange looking creature. The mantis shrimp, one of the world's deadliest shrimp. He has 2 boxing gloves, and as soon as he like hits something, he pretty much knocks him out. And the craziest part about the boxing gloves that this guy has is that they can punch up to 60 miles per hour and break through almost any glass. So when you have a mantis shrimp, you got to make sure you have some thick glass, because they will break through it. It's pretty known of them to break through aquariums and even people's fingers and stuff like that. So you definitely don't want to get near this thing. There are a couple species of mantis shrimp. This guy specifically, he's a peacock mantis shrimp, but there's spearing mantis shrimp. There's even like a mantis shrimp that lives in Florida. And I'm thinking one day we can go out and try to find one of those mantis shrimp, because that would be pretty sick. They're not this big, they're about this big mantis shrimp. So if you guys want to see that, gotta like this video. I'm gonna give you guys a little example of how powerful the mantis shrimp's punch is. Holy cow. Like, that's underwater. That's crazy. And you can hear it that clearly. Yeah. Let's check up on Larry now. This guy, it's been a while since we filmed him, but this guy is really, really rare. And the reasoning for that is because we actually found him out in the wild. A blue lobster. We were out looking for food to feed all the freshwater fish, and we ended up running into this guy. And ever since we've had Larry, he's grown a ton. So we're gonna have to set up Larry a new home here pretty soon, because he's just growing by the day and getting bigger and bigger. But honestly, I think that's the best part about owning animals and reptiles and fish and everything, is just upgrading their homes, giving them nicer homes, and making it as natural as possible for the animal. So we'll be setting him up a way bigger home here soon, and maybe add some other crawfish in there with him. A lot of you guys have been asking about our green tree python, and here he is right here. This snake is absolutely gorgeous. The colors on him are insane. I've been wanting one for like ever since I was a little kid, and I finally made that happen. Beautiful home. He's got so many branches to perch up on. He's even got a lot of water down here to actually swim through, because these guys come from the rainforest, so they love humidity, they love water, and they especially love living in the trees. Now right below our tree python, we actually have our mata turtle. Right there is a mata turtle. Such a unique looking animal, and I mean, just for a turtle especially. But the reason they look like this is because they use themselves to actually camouflage and look like a leaf. And then when a fish swims over that like leaf looking head, they just ambush it and eat their prey. So now over to the freshwater aquarium. We don't have many, but we do have this one right here. And the theme of this freshwater aquarium is like an Amazon theme. We have red-tailed catfish, tiger shovelnose, clown knifefish, peacock bass, and arowana, and even agar. So there's a whole bunch of Amazon fish in here that get really, really big. So probably in the next couple of months, we are going to be setting them up a massive pond that they can actually live the rest of their life in. And I think it would be pretty epic, because if you don't know, some of these fish in here get up to like 3 to 4 feet, which is massive for a freshwater fish. All the fish in this tank though are doing awesome. It's been about, I would say, about 2 to 3 months since we've set up the freshwater aquarium, and everything's thriving, eating, and just getting bigger. I also did just buy a new saltwater aquarium. Right here we have a Red Sea, one of the nicest saltwater aquariums you can get, and this is 65 gallons. So I wanted to ask you guys what you want to see in it. It's really up to you guys. I'm thinking coral and maybe more community fish, but really strictly coral, just because it's like in the middle of the house, and I think it would be a cool like showpiece. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see in here. We can honestly do anything. Remember, it is 65 gallons, so comment down below and let us know. And over to the 200 gallon. This right here is the biggest show tank in the house. We have 200 gallons. We've had this since day one of the channel. This is like the OG aquarium that started everything. But in here we have a whole bunch of community fish, from clownfish to wrasse. We even have some arrow crabs, but the main star, the two main stars of this tank, is our Spanish lobster that we recently just got. He's doing awesome, by the way, crawling throughout the whole tank and found like 10 different caves that he loves to just camp out in. This is probably one of the rarest eels, actually is the rarest eels, the banana moray eel that we were actually gifted to us by one of our buddies, Tyler Nolan. He actually came over, gifted us a whole bunch of eels. We added some to the saltwater pond, and we added his girl Sunshine to the show tank, and she's right back up in there in those rocks. She just goes throughout the whole tank. And we also have one more other eel, which is our ribbon eel, and that guy, he's probably pushing around 4 feet, but he's about this skinny, like this, like imagine the width of a penny. He's literally that skinny. Other than that, everything's doing awesome in the 200 gallon. I do want to add a lot more fish. There's a lot of empty spaces, and this aquarium is absolutely massive. So if you guys think we should add some more community fish or even some invertebrates, let me know in the comments down below, or give this video a thumbs up. That's pretty much our only way of knowing that you guys want to see something. So either comment or like. The only aquarium in my room, it actually holds the world's deadliest saltwater fish, being the stonefish. We actually caught this guy out of a tide pool, and ever since we've had to keep him because they're actually invasive. So once you see them, you're not allowed to release them back into the wild. You either got to put them in captivity or kill them. We took the first route, which was putting him in captivity, and he's doing good. He's been doing good ever since we got him. He eats like a champ, and I'm about to show you guys, for example, how he eats like a champ. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. We'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!